The Bible is true and reasonable. I want to talk about why it's true. Now, there are a lot of tests historically that are done on any documents or any books that are found. There's different tests. There's the bibliographical tests. There's external evidence tests, internal evidence tests. I'm going to look at archaeological tests, scientific tests. We don't have time to get into all deep, but I'm going to show you just some stuff that blew my mind that really helped me in my faith, and you can dig in. So the Bible, it's true. Let's look at the bibliographical test. Now, since there are no original documents, we don't have anything that, was actually written right, the original ones, right, that we know of, So, how reliable are the copies in regards to the number of manuscripts and the time interval between the original writing and the existing copies we have? So that's the test that's given to everything. Writings of Socrates, Plato, Shakespeare stuff, anything like that. That's the test that is given. So we're going to look at those things when it comes to the New Testament as opposed to all these other historical documents that we easily accept as history. So let me tell you about the New Testament. There's over 5,800 Greek manuscripts, 10,000 Latin manuscripts, and 9,300 in various other ancient languages. We have more than 24,000 copies of parts of the New Testament in existence. Now, you want to talk about the document that has the second most compared to the Bible? Check this out. It's the Iliad by Homer, which many of you probably had to read in school, right? It's in second place. my Greek daughter right there. The Iliad is in second place with only 643 manuscripts. Yep, dating to the 13th century. Now, the Iliad was written in 900 BC. The oldest copies we have found date to 400 BC. That's a 500-year interval that there was nothing. And the closest thing we found to prove it is 500 years away from when it was originally written. And there's only 643 manuscripts. The Bible has so many more manuscripts that have been found. So much more historical proof to test it than anything. But you don't hear about this, do you? Dig in. Man, and some New Testament manuscripts are carbon dated to almost the original time of the writings. Check this out. You can see over here. First thing we're going to show is called 7Q4. Now, that's 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16, and chapter 4, verses 3. And these were found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm going to tell you about the Dead Sea Scrolls in a minute. They revolutionized Christianity and the religious world. Because in 1946, well, I'll get to those. I'll tell you about the Dead Sea Scrolls. But anyways, this was found along with the Dead Sea Scrolls, carbon dated to 66 AD. Jesus was killed around 33 AD. So within 30 years, we have stuff that's been found that matches what we have today. The next thing we have is 7Q5. Throw that up there. This is Mark chapter 6, verses 52 and 53. Again, carbon dated to 66 AD from cave 7 of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, check this out. P52 is the next one. This is called the John Rylands Papyrus. It was found in Egypt. It's now at the John Rylands University. P52 is actually, it's like a page from a book. On the front side, it's John chapter 18, verses 31 through 33. And on the back side is John 18, 37 and 38, which says they already had book things going on already when it came to the Bible. Now, the thing that's crazy is if you know the history of the Apostle John, when he wrote the book of John, it was about 90 AD. He was very old. He was on the island of Patmos when he wrote the book of John. This right here, I'm getting chills as I talk about it. I love it. This right here is carbon dated to 125 AD. Again, within 30 years of the original writing of the book. And all these manuscripts read just as we have them today. So let's go to the next one, P64. This is Matthew chapter 26, verses 7 and 8. Verse 10, verses 14, 15, 22, 23, 31, 33. This is called the Magdalene Papyrus, and it is carbon dated, check this out, possibly to 37 AD, within a few years of Jesus dying. I mean, guys, this is just some of the stuff. But I didn't know about this, did you? You're not told about this. People just, no proof of the Bible. Listen, really? There's a lot of proof for the Bible. A lot more than anything else we believe and read. It's incredible what's out there. Sir David Dalrymple said this: if the New Testament vanished by the end of the 3rd century, all but 11 verses could be found in 2nd and 3rd century writings of the early church fathers. It was so disseminated all over and widely written about that it was in all kinds of other writings put together by the early church fathers. I mean, it just goes on and on. There are so many New Testament documents that they can be compared to one another because there's thousands and thousands, right? So they can all be compared to each other. That's the thing that's blow away, is that we can be sure of what the proper transmission is because we have so many of them to compare, and they all are in harmony. That's blow away to me. I'm like, wow. You know, as a missionary faith, the New Testament was translated into numerous languages. There are 15,000 existing copies of the New Testament in various languages, and they all align. Come on, man. That stuff fires me up. So let me tell you about the Dead Sea Scrolls. Can we just put that up there? You may have heard about the Dead Sea Scrolls, but they were discovered in 1946. There was a shepherd in the Wadi Qumran over in the Middle East, and he was out there and he was just throwing stones into caves, you know, just what shepherd boys do when they're bored, I guess, right? He throws a stone in a cave and he hears something crack and break. So he's like, what is that? So he goes into the cave and finds hundreds of jars full of scriptures. And so then there's numerous caves filled with them, right? So the scientists, of course, get involved, and they're famous now, right? The Dead Sea Scrolls. But every book of the Old Testament, besides one, was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, most of the Dead Sea Scrolls are carbon dated to at least 200 BC. At least 200 years before Jesus ever lived, we know all those Old Testament books existed. That is crazy. So check it out. This is 10Q Isa. It's the scroll of Isaiah, the book of Isaiah. It reads the same as we have it today. Carbon dated to 150 BC. They have the whole book of Isaiah in there. All the prophecies of the Messiah and how the Messiah would die are all in there. It's crazy, man. Check this out. This is 11 QPS. It's the book of Psalms. It reads today, same as what we have today. Again, found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, dating back hundreds of years. I mean, all of this stuff is so blow away. Again, 40,000 fragments, of which 500 books have been reconstructed, including all the Old Testament books except Esther. Sorry, Esther, but the rest of you guys are good. The New Testament evidence is far more than any 10 pieces of classical literature together. In all of Shakespeare's plays, 37 total, there are gaps in the printed text, even though they were written in the 17th century after the invention of the printing press. Again, look at the facts. There's so much more proof for the Bible. But let me tell you, that's scary. Because if it's true, then we got to deal with it. I knew that as I was digging in and going, man, I remember Tracy and I would be like, I think this thing's real. We're like, it's kind of frightening. Like, really need to change my life, I guess. But it was crazy. Like, again, no one of my old friends would believe I'd be here being a preacher today. I was such an opponent, you know, but I couldn't argue with the facts.
If you like this video, you can click right here and you can watch the full version of this sermon. You can subscribe to our channel and watch every Sunday with us at 11:30 a.m. We hope you have a great day, and as always, go Bills.